Hey, Jeff, welcome to today's video. So today we are back in my shed, which means we're going to be talking about the Rad Rover. This video was actually going to be two videos originally. There was going to be like a season introduction, and then I was going to do like a bike check for 2021. Fortunately, it's all going to be mashed up into this one video because at this point I've already been riding for almost 2 months, so it doesn't really make sense to be talking about season introduction, at least not in a typical sense of the videos that I typically made for this. And the bike check, well, that is quite on key because this is exactly what I want to do in today's video, because as you can probably tell if you've been following my videos, there have been a few upgrades to this Rad Rover that I want to get into in this video. But before we get into that, I'm just going to go over a bit of the season introduction like I usually do. So up until now, I've been riding for about 2 months. Of course, it's been very sporadic with weather not being that great already. It's still only May here, so it's not that warm. It's not that nice. So I haven't been riding all that much. I've done about 230 kilometers, give or take a couple there here and there in the last 2 months. But now the season is really gearing off. So it's really going to start picking up pace from here on out. As I said in my 2020 recap video, I essentially intend to ride about 2,500 kilometers throughout the year, of course, weather permitting, and of course, assuming that I don't get any major breakdowns. That is, however, the pretty good news that I'm going to get into right now, because we're now going to move into the bike check for 2021, because I'm really excited to tell you guys about all the changes that I've done to my Rad Rover to get this thing trail worthy and have a hopefully enjoyable 2021 season. So if you remember, I installed a SRAM Guide T brake in the front last year, and that had never been serviced before, so that service was done. The front rotor also needed to be changed because this 4-piston caliper was so powerful, and unfortunately the rear brake wasn't working anymore, so it sort of did the brunt of the braking and it started to bend. So now I've got that replaced. I got that front brake serviced. You might notice that I have an orange line coming out from the bike here. That is a new SRAM Guide T 2-piston that I've had installed in the back, all routed through the frame, replacing the original Tektro mechanical brakes entirely. I'm super happy about that. This is a really good. Now it has a full hydraulic braking system, and it brakes like it never braked before. I can actually lock the front wheel, lock the back wheel. It is very enjoyable. It's very different, and I'm super happy about this. Now, the second thing that you probably notice is the tread on the tires is pretty aggressive. That is because I have finally been able to procure the jumbo gems that I wanted to get last year. I found them on Schwalbe's website on clearance. That's unbelievable. They're sold out anywhere, and I actually managed to snag 2 of them, 75 bucks a pop. If you know these tires, they're usually about $200 a pop, and I was able to get them on clearance, which is super cool. And then I found this other website called Bike In, which is not a sponsor deal or anything like that. I'm just sharing the knowledge with you guys. They sent me the 3rd jumbo gem that I wanted, because in the middle of the season I'm probably going to need to change out the rear because I'm still quite heavy, right around 300 pounds. So I will definitely use up that rear tire before I use up the front. So I'm going to need a 3rd one to complete the season. But I was able to source that one from Bike In for another 75 bucks, give or take. But getting back to the jumbo gems, I'm really happy about my choice. These tires are super light. The handling on the road is better than any other tire I had before. Had the V tire before, had the Candas twice over. Handling on the Trade is leaps and bounds over anything the Candas will ever accomplish. They're much more stable. They're more comfortable. They're not as noisy. They are really the best tires I have ever had on a bike like this. If you're doing any kind of trail riding, I definitely recommend those. What I'm not too sure on, however, and I can probably report back with you guys on that later on in the season, is how reliable they're going to be. I was a bit concerned when I originally saw them that they seem to be quite thin, but fortunately so far I've ridden about 55 to 60 kilometers with those tires, and I haven't had a single issue with them, so getting more and more reassured as time goes on that they're going to be okay. I'm also not too sure how durable they're going to be on the pavement, especially during the summer, because they look to be quite soft, but according to the website they're supposed to be on the upper echelon. And then the last change for this year is the dropper post. You might have noticed that the seat is a little low right now. Well, that's on purpose. Check this out. That may not look like much on camera, but it is actually super useful, especially on the Rad Rover. The Rad Rover, if you want to have your legs extended and be comfortable pedaling, you have to be fairly high, but then you can't really touch the ground because the bike is fairly lifted up from the ground. So having the dropper post allows me at stops to basically drop down whenever I get into more muddy or more off-road situations. I can drop down whenever I want and then get back up as I want when I get back on the straight and just want to pedal more efficiently. So yeah, dropper posts are really amazing. Been so lucky to get this KS E10 RS from Amazon for about 200 bucks. A bit on the pricey side, but then again, it's kind of an upgrade that's really practical, that it's going to pay for itself over the years. This is a 27.2 millimeters post, so it's not that common on other bikes. Most likely it's going to have to go with the bike, but hopefully it'll be the kind of upgrade that will make the bike more interesting to potential buyers when I want to sell it. Which brings me to my final point that I want to make in today's video, which is that this is actually my Rad Rover's last season with me. So yeah, you heard that right. At the end of the season, I'm going to sell that bike. The reason for that is because I actually want upgrade upgrade to a mid-drive mountain bike. Never really talked about this too much in videos up until now. Originally last year, I was thinking about selling the bike over the winter and then purchasing a Giant Trans X3 for my 2021 season. Unfortunately, I was too late to decide on getting the bike. By the time I decided I wanted to do it and to sell that bike, unfortunately, they were all sold out, and they were going to be sold out for like until September. So at that point, I figured I'm just going to wait for the 2022 models to be announced, and then I'll choose the exact model I want, order that, and get that for next year. So this is going to be my Rad Rovers last year. It's been a great experience so far. Now with these upgrades, I figure the bike for its last season is going to be at its peak performance. It's going to be the best it's ever been, and it's going to be at its best to be sold to the person that's going to be enjoying it for the next and coming years. With that said, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you have a great riding season. I'm going to go riding right now when I turn off the camera because it's so nice out there today, and it's so great to be finally able to ride after a long winter. I hope you guys are safe, have a lot of fun, protect yourselves from COVID, meet with friends but responsibly, and I will catch you Sunday for my next music video. All right, peace.